Hi there, I'm Vicki Parfano from Aussie Stampers. Thank you very much for joining me and welcome to another in my series on my favourite things. And tonight it is markers. So I thought I'd show you the markers that I use most frequently, my favourite markers out of my collection, and here they are. So we'll start with the Copic markers are here, and I have them organised in their family colours. And you may be surprised how I am organising. What I'm using to do that is actually stubby holders. So you can see they squish around, and I pinched these from Paul, and he has a whole collection of them, and I ended up confessing and saying, sweetheart, I have actually used your stubby holders for my art supplies, and he was very kind and said, look, I have so many I didn't even miss them, so looks like they're staying here now. And I'm able to organise them into families within families. So for instance, I have the RVs all in this section, and then in this little stubby holder I have all the Rs. So I can keep the reds and the pinks together but still separate the families that way. And the little tins that they're sitting in I got from IKEA in the garden department, and they come on a little tiered tray system. I think they're about $20 or $25 or something. I didn't want the trays, all I wanted was the tins. So that was a complete tray with 6 tins in it. So I brought that home, and I love how that's storing everything really well. Is a Tombow dual tip marker, which has the brush tip one end and the fine tip at the other end. And this is recommended for people who are beginning, and it's not really a very fine tip. I just draw that for you. It's kind of a medium tip on the other end of it. This is recommended for people who are learning calligraphy, so that you can have your upstrokes and your downstrokes different thicknesses. So I'm enjoying that, and I'm getting there slowly with my calligraphy. I'm taking my time with it and working hard at practice. So I'll be showing you that process as we go along. These are my jelly roll pens, and they're great. They're the nicest gel pens I've found, and the thing I like about them, you might be able to see there is a little colour on the tip, so you can tell what colour it is when you're looking at them from the top of the tin like this. I also have some Signo pens in here, so I have a silver Signo, I have a mauve Signo, I have the traditional white Signo gel pen, which I've put over here with my whites. This is great for correcting mistakes, but it's also good for doing things like the highlights in eyes and things like that. When you're drawing eyes or you're drawing portrait, you can highlight the eyes with the white. So I like that. And these, of course, are my go-to guys when I'm stamping. These are my Stamp and Write markers, and they are similar to the Tombows. They have a brush tip, and they have a really fine tip at the other end. So I'll show you. That was the Tombow. This one's a really super fine tip. You can see that there. It's very pale and super fine tip. And these are my go-tos when I'm stamping, and I have all the ink pads that go with these, and I have all the re-inkers that go with these, so you can re-ink them, you can coordinate them with your ink pads. They come in all the colours, and I love those. They're my go-tos. Now I wanted to show you a project that I've been making with markers, and it may surprise you what the project is. The project I've been doing is mini canvases, and I've been using markers to draw directly onto the mini canvases. Now I will make a disclaimer to let you know that if you press really hard on the canvas, you will ruin the nibs of your markers. So this is only a project you do if you're very light with the way you approach it. Just a very gentle touch. I have done the edges with some paint. I used paint on the edges to create these little framed pieces around the outside. And I used a primer, a white primer of acrylic paint over the top, let all that dry, and then I started doing my work. So this little one here was done using Copic markers, and I used a ultra fine, so it was a 0.01 Copic multiliner to draw in the outline, and then I coloured her using the skin tones and hair and what have you, and just added a couple of little rhinestones at the edges of her eyes there. And I blitzed the whole thing. I'll just bring it up a little bit closer so you can see, with some glitter on the top. And that just came from a kid's glitter pen that I think I probably picked up at Kmart, and squirted that over the top of it, and it just was a really nice effect. I was really happy with how that turned out. So that was my little canvas that I did using my Copics and some glitter. I used another glitter pen on this one, and it was similar. I used Copics again. This time, instead of using a black line around the outside, I used a Stampin' Up marker, and I did that right at the very end, so that was something that I put on, used all my colours in here with Copics, and then added the details later. So I used some texture paste here to make the wings, and kids glitter pen up here, and I used some texture paste on the eyes. And this is gold stickles that I used here, and that has the soft pink all around the outside. And there's some glitter, which you might be able to see in the background. I just sprinkled that with some Kinderglitz on the outside. So it's something that you could give a try and see if you like it. Be very, very, very gentle with the tips of your markers, and I'm not guaranteeing that you won't ruin them if you put it on something like wet paint, or you put it on a colour that's already been used, or you get texture paste or something on it. So just take extra care when you're doing it. But I really enjoy doing these little projects. I love doing a lot of my work on canvases, and there'll be more canvases that I show you in future episodes. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.